Good morning. Welcome to the University of Prince Edward Island. I'd ask if you all remain standing and join Michelle Bowie in singing God Save the Queen. Stand a little bit longer. That's to remain standing while Father Charles Chivry delivers the invocation.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we assemble with great joy in your presence this morning to celebrate with our 2011 University of Prince Edward Island graduates. Their graduation achievement was accomplished after much personal energy, time, and financial sacrifice. We congratulate them on their success and acknowledge the help afforded them on their journey by the UPEI administration, faculty, and staff, and particularly by their parents, family, and loved ones. Bless them personally with a feeling of joy, accomplishment, and due pride in what they have achieved. Help them to grow in wisdom through their experiences in life, that in union with you, they may be imbued with true peace and happiness. With thanksgiving, we acknowledge the outstanding leadership and spiritual and material legacy given us by our outgoing president, Wade McLaughlin. Be with us now during this convocation and bless all our activities as we bestow recognition, affirmation, and appreciation on our graduates. May all this be to your greater honor and glory. Amen.
Thank you, Father Chivry. Everyone can please be seated. As I said before, welcome to the University of Prince Edward Island. We always want everyone to feel that this is as much your university as it is anyone seated with the graduates or on the stage this morning. Thank each and every one that's here to support the graduates, and thank you for all your contributions to get them to where they are today. We almost hit a special number. We're at 896 graduates. We needed to push 4 more through for 900. I'm sure we'll do that next year. I'd like to introduce the stage and the special guests, if I could, please. First is Her Honor, the Governor, Barbara Hagerman. It is Barbara's last function at University of Prince Edward Island as governor. We have been extremely pleased with her association with the university, and it goes beyond just the official position. She's been a tremendous supporter and friend of the university through her interest in not only music, but also the tremendous work she's done with international students. So we do thank Governor Hagerman. Fred Hyman is our chair of the Board of Governors. Our 2 honorary graduates this morning are Louis McCachran and Daniel Williams. I don't think either one of them needs a great deal of introduction. Representing the government of Prince Edward Island, I think also today representing the greater Hazel Grove, New Glasgow, Hunter River area is Carolyn Bertram. Olive Crane is the leader of the official opposition. We have the deans, past honorary graduates, and special guests. We have one very special guest in the audience today. Mr. Jack Gillingham from Newfoundland, who's here to attend the graduation of his granddaughter, Carolyn Legge. And it's interesting about Mr. Gillingham is that many years ago in March of 1943, while serving with the Air Force, he was shot down. His plane was shot down over Berlin. The interesting thing, for me at least, is that a good friend of my wife's family, Raymond Gilbert, spent time in the same Stalag 8B in Germany, and it just reminded me of the tremendous contribution and sacrifice that has been made by the men and women in uniform in this country, and I would like to acknowledge that. Including, of course, our own special son, Ray, Captain Nicola Goddard, daughter of Dean Tim Goddard. I'd also like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about the next gentleman I'm going to introduce, and that's our President Wade McLaughlin. As you know, Wade will be leaving the office of President of the University of Prince Edward Island in midsummer. He and I traveled many of the same roads on the yellow buses to Charlottetown Rural High School. He recruited me for this position. I'm eternally grateful to him. I had the good fortune to be part of the first class that graduated from the University of Prince Edward Island, where our education was totally at the University of Prince Edward Island. I remember the fuss and furor as the two great colleges that this college preserves the heritage of St. Dunstan's University and Prince of Wales College, and the uproar with University of Prince Edward Island being formed. I remember that our social gathering place was a barn. Our rink was probably the coldest in North America. That's where we had our first convocation, was at the old rink. We had many classes in mobile classrooms. As I look around the campus this morning, I think not only back to our first president, Ronald Baker, but also the work of others. And I think it's been capped by the tremendous work and effort of Wade McLaughlin, and I'd like to introduce Wade for a few words. Thank you.
Chancellor Andrew, Your Honor, distinguished guests, everyone is a distinguished guest at UPEI Convocations, members of the UPEI community, which means all of us, welcome. Most especially, welcome to the graduates of the UPEI class of 2011. Graduates, we are all here today, your families and supporters, UPEI faculty and staff, the broader community of Prince Edward Island and UPEI alumni, a community that now extends across Canada and around the world. There are many great people cheering you on from afar and viewing through Eastlink TV. We're here to celebrate your achievement and to embrace your success. Welcome, everyone. This is a day of pride and of celebration. We celebrate as a community. UPEI Convocations provide us with an opportunity to pause and to think about what it means to be part of a community, and in particular to be part of this great community. Convocation is an opportunity to count our blessings, that we live in peace, that we live in a world that embraces knowledge as we embrace the quest for further knowledge and skills, that we enjoy prosperity as we are given the tools to create further prosperity, goodwill, understanding, and a better, smarter world. that we enjoy friendship and love and support. We come here today in an act of love and support and celebration. These are not to be taken for granted in a troubled and turbulent world. Convocation is a day of beauty, the beauty of nature in this fertile time of spring. We embrace the beauty of our university and campus, and in particular, the beauty of our graduates. You are beautiful today, especially those smiles, those well-earned smiles. And just as we are here today to embrace your success as the graduates of 2011, Convocation is an opportunity for you, the graduates, to say thank you, to acknowledge the people who have been important to your success, to think about how you got here, to acknowledge that you share this day with other special people. There are your families and all of the people who have been close to you through your years of study and your journey in life. May I ask the graduates of the class of 2011 to join in a round of applause for your families and your wonderful cast of supporters. Each graduate today will recognize the contributions of your teachers and of a whole cast of mentors, supporters, and friends at UPEI who are committed to excellence in teaching and learning and to your success and well-being. Each of you will know who those special people have been for you. And together, we know what it means to have a university that makes a priority of teaching and learning. This does not stop today. The mentors and models that you have found among the faculty and staff at UPEI will be mentors and models and your most ardent supporters for life. May I ask the graduates and all of you to join me in acknowledging the commitment and contributions of our UPEI faculty and staff. Convocation is an important day to think about who we are and how we got here as an institution. The Chancellor made some reference to this. Over the stage today, we have our UPEI coat of arms, unveiled for the first time last fall by Her Honour Lieutenant Governor Hagerman and Fred Heinemann, Chair of our Board of Governors. It features important symbols of St. Dunstan's University and Prince of Wales College, our predecessor institutions. Our entire coat of arms comes together in the open book, symbolic of our mission as a university and of the quest for knowledge. Of course, supported by those awesome steppy panthers, Panthers for Life. Our coat of arms features the rust and green that so quintessentially signify this place, Prince Edward Island, the community that supports and nurtures this university and celebrates with us. The rust and green of Prince Edward Island are more dramatically in evidence today in this auditorium and notably in the great nature of our island than just about any other day of the year. Our university motto, Fides Scientia Beneficium, faith, knowledge, service. Believe in something more than yourself. Have faith. Embrace knowledge. Practice and model the importance of knowledge. Beneficium, service. Give back to your community, to others. We have two special people on the stage today who are being recognized for their achievements and especially for their service. Lou McCachran and Danny Williams will be receiving honorary degrees, and for good reason. They have served and continue to serve in many capacities. Both Lou and Danny Williams would tell you that their achievements are due to the support of many, including teachers and mentors, and to their willingness to embrace and serve their communities. Along with all of that, they have welcomed good fortune. Today, we all enjoy and we appreciate good fortune. Convocation is an important day to think about luck. The Canadian writer and economist Stephen Leacock made a famous quip: "I'm a great believer in luck, and I find that the harder I work, the more I have of it." Be ready to make your own luck and to seize it and to embrace good fortune. As you know, and as the Chancellor mentioned, I join you today as a graduate of the class of 2011 as I complete my mandate as UPEI President. I do so with pride. Pride in what UPEI has accomplished and continues to achieve. You may note that it has taken me 12 years to get through, longer than most of you. When I came to UPEI as President in 1999, I said that this was my dream job. That continues to be true today, and the dream continues. And I urge you, the graduates, to find your dream job and to remember, just as Stephen Leacock said about luck, that you're likely going to have to work to find it. I also urge you to continue to work, as you do by your presence today and by your success today, at making UPEI a great university with a special sense of community. Stay in touch with this place. Stay in touch with each other and with your UPEI mentors. And above all, be great ambassadors for UPEI. While UPEI has changed over the past 12 years, as a great university must do, one thing has not changed, and that's the spirit of UPEI Convocations. From the beginning, from those early days Chancellor Andrews spoke about, UPEI Convocations have been known to be a good time. So be sure that you work at having a good time today. Smile, it won't hurt, you'll be okay tomorrow. Make lots of noise, get some air in your lungs, congratulate each other, whoop it up. Let's all whoop it up for Convocation 2011. Congratulations.
Thank you. We shall now proceed with the conferring of honorary degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Louis McEachran. Louis William McEachran, business leader and community builder. In life and business, Lou for most of us, Louis McEachran has always followed a simple credo: work hard and be nice to people. The dictum has not worked out badly for the boy from Hazel Grove, PEI. After supporting himself through school and university by taking cleaning jobs, Lou took Horace Greeley's famous advice: go west, young man, and made his fortune in Alberta, literally. Mr. McEachran is the president and owner of Calgary-based Fortune Industries. At times, he has employed as many as 400 people. Today, Lou keeps busy as an investor, advisor, director of numerous enterprises, large and small, in Alberta and further afield, including here in the Maritimes. His stature is reflected in Mr. McEachran's many community and professional affiliations. Among these are the Calgary Chamber of Commerce, the Council for the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, the Advisory Board of the Salvation Army, the Alberta Mentor Foundation for Youth, there's a lot here, the Downtown Rotary Club of Calgary, the Calgary Stampede Board, the 1988 Calgary Winter Olympics, and the list does go on. He is a past president of the Calgary Business Association and was elected Businessman of the Year by the Calgary Chamber of Commerce in 1982. But for Lou McEachran, it is more about the giving than the getting. He has a particular concern for young people. Many of his endowments focus on their needs. He says, "I like to see young people get an opportunity." Nor has Lou McEachran forgotten his island roots. He is currently a national director of the Confederation Center of the Arts. In 2009, he retired from the UPEI Board of Governors after 9 years and 3 terms. He is a founding member of the UPEI School of Business Global Associates Group, and among other donations to our school, he has been a leading supporter of the Calgary Friends of UPEI Fund. This fund assists students from Alberta and Prince Edward Island who are attending the University of PEI. In an admiring note on Mr. McEachran's contributions to the City of Calgary, a representative of that city's Rotary Club recently remarked, "Lou sets the example and lives it every day." It is an example that all of us might emulate. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of his exemplary contributions to the community and the role model offered by his generosity and leadership, I now request, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Prince Edward Island, that you confer upon Louis William McEachran the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, the Honourable Daniel E. Williams, lawyer, businessman, and politician. Newfoundland and Labrador has a long tradition of larger-than-life political figures. In that sense, Daniel Williams is, pardon the pun, a chip off the old rock. Born and raised in St. John's, he went from Memorial University as a Rhodes Scholar to Oxford, where, by the way, he played on the Oxford University Ice Hockey Club, before earning his law degree at Dalhousie University in Halifax. Our information does not suggest what sort of hockey player he was, but if his subsequent career is any indication, one suspects that he was unfailingly aggressive, fearlessly outspoken, tough in the corners, a little flashy around the net maybe, and without a doubt, scrappy. Danny Williams has never walked away from a fight. Even before he finished law school, Mr. Williams headed up a consortium that founded Avalon Cablevision. As Cable Atlantic, it soon became one of the largest communication companies in Atlantic Canada. At the same time, he built up one of the most extensive law practices in his province. By the time he became leader of the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador in April 2001, Newfoundlanders had already dubbed him Danny Millions. 2 years later, in 2003, his party swept to power, promising to control spending, streamline the public service, and create jobs, and they did. Tapping into a virile strain of Newfoundland nationalism, Danny Williams personified his province's rugged individualism and its combative nature, What support he lost in tough measures taken to curb the provincial debt, he soon recouped in his bruising set to with Ottawa over Newfoundland's share of offshore oil revenues and their relation to equalization transfers. Williams talked tough and he walked tough, and the deals he has brokered in relation to oil resources, transfer payments, and hydroelectric development have helped Newfoundland and Labrador to the strongest economic position in its long history. Fortunately for us, Premier Williams' partisanship extended to securing interprovincial support for the Atlantic Veterinary College at UPEI. The list of Danny Williams' combatants is itself a sort of backhanded compliment. They include Paul Martin, Stephen Harper, miscellaneous Canadian premiers, even Paul McCartney. Many people have questioned his positions, but no one has ever questioned Danny Williams' heart, except for certain medical doctors. Nor have they questioned his zeal for his native province or his drive to raise the bar for all of Atlantic Canada. When he stepped down as Premier in December 2010, he remained by far the most popular federal or provincial leader in the country. And if I could add a little postscript, I spoke to my 92-year-old mother who's in a long care home in central Newfoundland, and I mentioned I was going to be speaking on behalf of Danny's. She thought for a second and she said, yeah, he wasn't bad for a politician. So. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding leadership and devotion to his province, I now have the honour of requesting, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Prince Edward Island, that you confer upon the Honourable Daniel D. Williams the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
On behalf of the University of Prince Edward Island, it is my privilege to confer upon you, Daniel Williams, the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Now, Dr. Williams will share some kind words with us.
I can't start off with a falling water, that's for sure. It's been a long time. Well, good morning. Your Honours, Chancellor Andrew, President McLaughlin, Mr. McEachran and his family, Chairman of the Board of Governors, Fred Heinemann, Honourable Minister, Leader of the Opposition, Senator Callbeck, Senator Johnstone, special guest, Jack Gillingham. Where are you out there, Jack? Can family point him out? Distinguished guest. Faculty, parents, family, friends, and most of all, the students, the graduates. Congratulations. This is your day. After many years of hard work, you did it. One of the graduates walked by this morning and she said, "It's the best day of my life." She summed it up. It does get better, but this is a very great day. It was you, wasn't it? I thought it was. And thank you all so much for this outstanding honor and distinction that you're bestowing on me today. I will sincerely be eternally grateful. However, I will never forgive you for limiting me to only 10 minutes in my first address since leaving politics. It's been 5 months, 3 days, 12 hours, 27 minutes, and 43 seconds since I got up to speak, and I've got 10 minutes. As a fellow Islander, I share a great affinity with PEI and its people, and I now even feel more like family here in this historic province. In fact, my very first trip within Canada as a young boy was a visit to North Rustico. I will never forget that fabulous experience and the childhood realization that our world expanded beyond the rocky shores of Newfoundland and Labrador to the Garden of the Gulf. And many years later, my first official trip as the Premier of my beloved home province was to visit Charlottetown, the birthplace of Confederation, for the official commencement of the Council of the Federation of Premiers. But of course, my fondest memories of this green paradise stem neither from my childhood nor my life in politics, but rather from my experiences on some of the best golf courses in the world. And they are, believe me. I hit my very first golf ball in the early 60s on the Green Gables course owned by President McLaughlin's dad, Harry, and I've attended many great tournaments and lobster suppers in the Cavendish area since. Unfortunately, there's one story I cannot share with you here, but I did share it with the people last night. These early experiences motivated me later in life to actually build 3 golf courses back at home. And of course, I'm also a hockey fan, and Stompin' Tom and the good old hockey game is nearly a national anthem in Newfoundland and Labrador. So I've had some wonderful times here in Prince Edward Island, and frankly, I was deeply touched and humbled when I learned that I would be a recipient of an honorary degree from this first-rate institution of higher learning. Wade and his team have done an outstanding job at this university. Congratulations to all of you. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon that one can use to change the world, and I couldn't agree more. Education is something that has always been a deeply important part of my life and fundamental to any successes that I have enjoyed. From the day my mother put me on a school bus at the ripe old age of 3, learning and exploring and discovering are things that have driven me my entire life. Now, just so you understand, I did get off on the same side of the road on the other end of the school bus ride, so there was no danger involved. I was fortunate enough in those days to attend a school that taught me French and public affairs and actually a bit of Greek history, all before the age of 6. And I was extraordinarily blessed to have a free education, including my post-secondary schooling. And though at that time I didn't realize just how truly fortunate I was, I'm today well aware of just how lucky we were in those days to have free tuition. To not worry about being burdened with student loans upon graduation was something we all took for granted. Not only did it eliminate a huge financial burden, it was just one less thing to distract me from studying, because believe me, back in the 60s, there were lots of distractions. Particularly at my time in Oxford during the days of the Beatles. Little did I know, though, that myself and Sir Paul would have a dust-up on Larry King Live. And the irony was, he didn't know which island he was on at the time. And so I've always been a passionate advocate for education. And as you know, during my time as Premier, our government brought in some of the most progressive and generous student aid policies in the country. Of course, we need to understand, though, that we were blessed with significant oil resource revenues at the time, and we're in a position to do so. We were also determined to become masters of our own destiny and to finally take control of our future as Canada's youngest province. We were fairly confident that there were great things in store, but we knew that nothing would be achievable if we did not have our young people, our future, staying at home, living, working, raising families, and helping Newfoundland and Labrador realize our great potential. And for me, though my focus was clearly on my home province, it was not just about Newfoundland and Labrador. I was determined as a political leader in this country to see Atlantic Canada finally take our place in this great federation. Because I knew without a doubt that stronger provinces would make a stronger region, and that would make a stronger country. Our province's Lower Churchill hydroelectric project is just one example of the wealth of opportunity that exists for the Atlantic provinces, the Aboriginal people, Canada's green energy future, and most importantly, for young people who are looking to build their lives here on Canada's East Coast. Believe me when I say that we are lucky, very fortunate, very privileged to be Atlantic Canadians. This is a special place in the world. I made some pretty tough stands when I was leading Newfoundland and Labrador, and yes, I was known to be just a little outspoken, sometimes even outrageous, I guess. But like most Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, I've never been much of a shrinking violet. In fact, in my high school yearbook, I'm the only guy with a black eye, and I think that kind of says it all. You should see the other guy. But different people have different styles, and everyone has to find their own way, discover their own talents, hone their own skills, and ultimately determine just how it is that we plan to make our mark in this world. And I firmly believe that there is a role for each and every one of us to make a difference. For some, it may be behind the scenes, quietly contributing to an organization. Or you might be called to the most noble of professions, and that's teaching our children. For others, it may be creating your own business and fueling the economy through your entrepreneurial skills. You may be destined to serve in public office, developing the policies and programs that make our country the best place on earth to live. Or maybe you will lend your talents to the volunteer sector, an area of critical importance to our society and one that pays dividends not in dollars, but in a deep sense of fulfillment and contribution. Or maybe you will choose the most important job of all, raising a family. And I say this from experience because my mother did exactly this, and I know what my brothers and sister and I were like as kids. And some days that woman certainly had the toughest job of all. So an early happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, by the way, while we're on the topic. A very, very important role. And thank you for your contribution. But whatever path you choose, know that you can make a difference. And though you have spent the past several years receiving a formal education at this very fine university from some wonderful professors, your real education is about to begin when you walk out through these doors. Life experience is an education that doesn't require a tuition fee, but it can exact a price. Life experience will not honor you with a diploma to hang on the wall, but it will honor you with intangible rewards every single day. Life experience will not give you a grade, but it most certainly will give you memories to last a lifetime, friendships that you will cherish, and lessons that can only be learned the hard way. And I'm here to tell you that when you combine your formal education with your life experiences, the horizon of possibilities knows absolutely no boundaries. When I first stepped onto that school bus at the age of 3, I most certainly never dreamed of being premier of my province. When I graduated from high school, I never imagined that I'd start a cable company with a loan of $2,500 and sell it a couple of decades later for hundreds of millions of dollars. When I completed my law degree, I wouldn't have believed that I would have had the opportunity to successfully defend a woman who killed her husband in self-defense after years of horrendous abuse. How could I have known back then the exciting times that were yet to come? There was no way to know, but every life experience I have had has led me to the next experience, and on it went. There were ups and there were downs, successes and failures. The trick is managing to keep the wins ahead of the losses. At the age of 50, I faced a very difficult decision of whether to run for the leadership of the PC Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. At that time, I was healthy and financially secure. I had a sense of fulfillment for my accomplishments in law and business, and my family was raised. My first inclination was to take the easy way out, go off into the sunset, and enjoy life after many years of hard work. But after weeks of sober reflection, I actually looked in the mirror one morning, this is true, and I felt in that moment an obligation to a province that had given me such a great, wonderful life. And I also knew that I did not want to look back in 10 years and regret that I had not stepped up at a time when Newfoundland and Labrador needed a new direction. I actually wanted to try and make a difference. Well, as you know, I took the plunge into public life, and I have since experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But I have not regretted one single moment. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, all well worth it, as it tells my life story. Today, you all take another significant step in your own journey, and you write another chapter in the story of your life, which will be the legacy that you will leave behind. My advice to you all is find your niche, seize the endless opportunities in this world on whatever level they may be. Set your goals high. Face the challenges head on. And as trite as this may sound, strive to be the best that you can be. George Bernard Shaw gave me words to live by. Some see things as they are and ask why. Others dream things that never were and ask, why not? As you leave these hallowed halls of learning today, I dare you, each and every one of you, to ask, why not? Don't ever forget that as you step forward into a sometimes uncertain world, that we are collectively and individually masters of our own destiny, and we have an obligation to each other to help shape a better future for all. And don't forget, never forget, to do so with a smile and a spring in your step. And above all else, adhere to that famous Latin maximum, illegitimi non carborundum. The translation will remain quiet. If you want to find out, I can't say a bad word in the presence of this convocation. Thank you for having me.
Now comes the fun part of the whole day. To use an old horse racing expression, we've gone under the wire, got a bunch of winners here, now we have to recognize them. So we shall now proceed with the granting of degrees. All candidates at the convocation today, please rise and be recognized by your colleagues and by our community. Try and melt the moment a little bit. This is also part, as I said, of the largest graduating class in the history of the university, so well done. I hereby award you, each of you, the diploma or degree that you have earned from the University of Prince Edward Island, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I also award in absentia the degree to those whose records have been certified by Senate but who cannot be present at today's convocation. We will now begin with the presentations. Please take your seats.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degrees of Bachelor of Business Administration and Bachelor of Business in Tourism and Hospitality those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for these degrees have been approved by the Senate.
Bachelor of Business Administration, Haley Baer. Evan Blakely. Kimberly Lynn Burt. Craig Cameron. Matthew Cameron. Brent Lawrence Campbell. Courtney Champion. Jeremy Coffin. Charlotte Colson. Zachary Curry. Andrew Cutcliffe. Catherine Elizabeth Daly. Julie DeVoe. Nicholas Larry Drake. David Dunn. Jessica Jane Fleming. Alicia Gallant. Jonathan Vance Gallant. Craig Gallant. Tyson Howard Gimblett. Chelsea Gorvette. Joey Greco. Joshua Ricky Henderson Harvey. Lauren Lee Victoria Hayward. Sean Tyler Hughes. Sean Matthew Hughes. Adam Hutchinson. Reggie Jameson. Min Tang Jiang. Valerie Jones. Jiatong Li. Yi Li. Yao Ma. Dan McAleer. Kyle McDonald. Stephanie Christine McDougall. Jeff McKenzie. Krista McKenzie. Jillian McKinnon. Dana McLeod. Timothy McLeod. Chaz Joseph McNeil. Tanya Martin. Stephanie Mooney. Laura Moore. Jason Moret. Natasha Moran. Abigail Morgan. Sam Mugford. Helen Murphy. Evan Myers. Courtney Nicholson. Gregory Michael O'Brien. Christopher Michael O'Keefe. Jackson Platts. Katie Ramsey. Matthew Ramsey. Ji Ran. Christopher Reed. Michael Roberts. Luke Rolich. Jordan Robert Rolich. Yin Kun Chi. Kyle Smith. Alex Stevenson. Thomas Strinsel. Robert Schweitzer. Josh Toombs. Jonathan Valut. Alex Walker. Linda Walker Burt. Daniel Whalen. Jonathan A. Wilson. Yue Singh. Ziyi Zhu. Bachelor of Business Administration, Cooperative Education. Deanna Lisa Cardinal. Jenna Clow. Jessica Lee Corbett. Amy Corrigan. Amy Handrahan. Pat Henwood. Grant Charles Laird. Ali McElduff. Billy Jr. William Patrick Joseph Alden McDonald. Rita Jillian McCachran. Carrie McKay. Chad McLean. Emma McPhail. Andrew McVeigh. Yumna Miharab. Emily Ruth Smith. Sarah Stewart. Melody Turnbull Clark. Jennifer Dawn Watson. Laura M. Watts. Bachelor of Business in Tourism and Hospitality, Karina Chan. Amy Fraser. Keith Lawler. Vanessa Leblanc. Derek Meisner. Chichi Zhou. Li Tang.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degrees of Bachelor Education, Human Resource Development, Bachelor Education, and Bachelor of Education Enseignement en Français langue seconde. Those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for these degrees have been approved by the Senate.
Bachelor of Education, Human Resources Development. Carl Patrick Campbell. Edward Bernard Feehan. Michael Berg Nielsen. Kim Watts. Bachelor of Education, Jean-Paul Abel Schauser. Jason Ewalt. Darcy Beck. Nicole Dawn Canton. Trudy Ann Challoner. Kelly Sierra. Sarah Elizabeth Clark. Chelsea DeRoche. Nicole Doiron. Lindsay Dawn Fraser. Jonathan Mitchell Gallant. Peggy Leanne Gilroy. Samantha Harrison. Stephanie Hatton. Catherine Henwood. Katie Hogan. Leanne Johnson. Caitlin Kennedy. Samantha Susan Kenny. Jennifer Kidd. Sarah Elizabeth Lamb. Chow Yu Catherine Liu. Salvador Reynaldo Lopez Beltran. Kelsey Lowther. Carla Suzanne McAdam. Kaylee Frances McDonald. Jennifer McDougall. Paul McKay. Mallory Jane McKinney. Amanda McKinnon. Sally McKinnon. Samantha McKinnon. Melissa Diane McLean. Ainsley Lauren McNeil. Jennifer Lynn McNevin. Katie McQuaid. Andrew Sterling McSwain. Lisa Jane Mader. Stacy Wogan Malay. Alana Dawn Marchand. Rebecca Louise Moore. Ian Matthew Mugford. Amy Elizabeth Much. Amanda Jean Nunn. Daniel David Ostapovich. Tamara Elizabeth Palmer. Jenna Ann Phelan. Ellen Kathleen Pridham. Catherine Ramsey. Catherine Margaret Robertson. Jessica Marlene Rochford. Elsa Carolina Sanchez Lopez. Danielle Louise Ganlon. Shanda Seller. Crystal Siddle. Holly Teal. Jana Thompson. Brittany Waite. Lindy Waite. Stephen Joseph Wakeland. Ashley Dawn Walker. Liam Kent Walker. Lisa Walsh. Thomas Clarence Albert Waugh. Wendy Tabitha Weeb. Sarah Wijneski. Nikita Young. Eleni Zelios. Bachelor of Education, enseignement en français langue seconde. Kathleen Ann Bernard. Katie Carter. Isabelle Cloutier. Amanda Jane Duncan. Melissa Jeffrey. Lydia Jean McKay. Andrea Lynn Elizabeth Pitt.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate.
Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Lindsay Atkinson. Stephanie Joan Barlow. Haven Lee Brown. Miranda Brown Grant. Angela Bryan. Chrysandra Jean Cairns. Amanda Carmody. Laura Condon. Jillian Connolly. Kristen Doherty. Jessica Ann Doucette. Lindsay Dowling. Julie Fleming. Kelsey Gauthier. Melissa Gillespie. Emily Ann Gillis. Jillian Grady. Jessica Gunn. Holly Harris. Olivia Caroline Harris. Amanda Hood. Cherry Wang. Ashley Jadis. Stephanie Jadis. Candace J. Julia Jenkins. Caitlin Jenkins. Jill Margaret Johnston. Kaylee Jodree. Melanie Susan Larkin. Jenna Lidstone. Susie Ling. Stephanie Deborah Long. Courtney Dawn Lowther. Scott Lutz. Courtney McCarthy. Allison McDonald. Cynthia Jane McDonald. John Allen McDonald. Stephanie McDonald. Sarah McIsaac. Caitlin Mary Jean McKenzie. Krista Jewel McKenzie. Holly Marie Alexandra McLean. Jillian McLean. Carolyn Isabel McLeod. Jennifer Ann Matthews. John Mose. Joel Monahan. Gregory Murphy. Alyssa Joan Much. Chancelyn Paige O'Brien. Chelsea Lynn O'Connell. Faith Ongoro. Sally Michelle Rayworth. Erin Elizabeth Shea. Lindsay Marie Smith. Mary Lou Elizabeth Smith. Yeah! Woo! Amy Charlotte Summers. Maddie Stewart. Troy Andrew Thomas. Shelby Lynn Thorne. Terry Lynn Clara Jane Tibbs. Miranda Wilson.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree Doctor of Veterinary Medicine those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate.
Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Melissa Anderson. Dr. Gia Bars. Dr. Amanda Bocart. Dr. Jessica Boyd. Dr. Corey Britt. Dr. Sarah Butt. Jessica Katie McLean. Dr. Kristen Clapp. Dr. Laura Christine Coulter. Dr. Kelly Ann DeHaan. Le Dr. Olivier Dubois. Dr. Melanie Egan. Dr. Margot Edwards-Milowski. Dr. Amy Elson. Dr. Chelsea Estee. Dr. Alondra Maria Garcia Revilla. Dr. Murray Gillies. Dr. Brianne Hibble. Dr. Tamara Hollinger. Dr. Annabelle Chapin. Dr. Lauren Margaret Howard. Dr. Jill Marie Jackson. Dr. Amber Jameson, sorry. Dr. Christian Jodry. Dr. Scott Jodry. Dr. Erica Kubik. Dr. Jamie Kuehl. Dr. Jamie Leckie. Dr. Katie Lee. Dr. Matthew Lemon. Dr. Rhonda McDonald. Dr. William McDonald. Dr. Andrew McDougall. Dr. Allison Nicole McCaddy. Dr. Megan McClellan. Dr. Colleen Elizabeth Martin. Dr. Sarah Moree. Dr. Holly Monroe. Dr. Jessica O'Keefe. Dr. Amy Ortez. Dr. Holly Pinard. Dr. Stephanie Elizabeth Power. Dr. Rachel Purvis. Dr. Aaron Ramsey. Dr. Lindsay Rigoli. Dr. Chantal Ridwage. Dr. Nathan Roberts. Dr. Laura Ross. Dr. Jocelyn Rubiat. Dr. Jill Rutherford. Dr. Margot Sachs. Dr. Stephen James Scott. Dr. Joshua Smith. Dr. Dennis Eugene Soha. Dr. Nikia Stewart. Dr. Sandy Strelick. Dr. Niles Catherine Stuntz. Dr. Ashley Troncati. Dr. Adele Vino. Dr. Emily Wiedis.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Master of Education those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate.
Master of Education, Rayanne Marie Adams. Shelley Deanne Arsenault. Anna Baldacchino. Michelle Marie Beeman. Craig Boudreau. Tracy Brown War. Richard Cameron. Laura Margaret Dennis. John Darrell DeRoche. Helena Dawn Essery. Krista Allison Fian. Arlene Ann Fraser. Dan Frew. Sharon Giroux. Trina Han. Lisa Hilsentegger. Betty Johnson. Lois E. Kember. Jennifer Ann Marie Lacey. Judy Ann Lamy. Anne Marie McDonald. Marion McGaughy. Sharon McIntosh. Kendra Dawn McLaren. Mark McNeil. Lisa Marmon. Nicholas Martin. Melanie Melanson. Karen Milligan. Kelly O'Brien. Wendy Ramsey. Sabrina Caroline Sharp. Carolyn Elizabeth Simpson. Jennifer Ann Spencer. Jade Jeanette Stevens. Angela Hazel Taylor. Kara Jean Walsh. Diane Marie Zelke.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree Master of Business Administration those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate. And I just want to let the audience know this is our first group of MBA graduates at the university. We're thrilled to have them here. There are 25 of them, and I hope you give them a lot of big applause as they go through.
Tell the graduates in the audience that after 9 years we'll be having Dean McDonald will be no longer the Dean of Business, but it's been a privilege for us to have her as the Dean of Business. The School of Business has gone ahead in leaps and bounds, as evidenced by our first MBAs this morning. So thank you very much, Dean McCallum.
Master of Business Administration, Jacqueline Baird. Catherine Ballum. Ryan Andrew Bradley. David Campbell. Todd Clark. Elizabeth Dobbin. Amber Jadis. Jean Ann Kimpton. David Brian Lindsay. Anne Marguerite Macaulay. Gary McDonald. Scott McEwen. Aaron McIsaac. John Allen Wayne McKinnon. Alfred Marshall. Christine Richards. Heather Louisa Rossiter. Garth Simmons. Denise Spenceley. Joan Turner Adams. James Scott Wilson. Tracy Rooney Wood.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Master of Science in the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate.
Master of Veterinary Science, Dr. Carolyn Legg. Dr. Karen Michelle Teft. Yes, yeah.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree Doctor of Philosophy those students whose names shall be announced individually and whose qualifications for this degree have been approved by the Senate. We invite them to take a seat with the faculty to the right of the stage after receiving their degree.
Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Alejandro Ceballos. Dr. Rafael van der Stitchel.
This is whenever there's a pregnant pause, I know they're looking at me to say something. So, didn't we have a great graduating class this morning? First group of MBAs. Future educators, future healthcare professionals, future veterinarians. All in all, a pretty good bunch, I think. I'd like to now call on Perlene Morrison, who's the president of the UPEI Alumni Association, to address the graduates.
Mr. Chancellor, Your Honor, President McLaughlin, honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, families, friends, and 2011 graduates. On behalf of the UPEI Alumni Association, I would like to welcome all of our 2011 graduates to the UPEI alumni family, and I congratulate you on your achievements to date. You are now members of our association and part of a network of 20,000 alumni across Canada and around the world who share pride in our university. Wherever your lives and careers may take you, I hope you will remember your years on campus with fondness. For many of us, UPEI symbolizes a time and place when we came of age, developed lifelong friendships, and discovered what we wanted to do with our lives. It has been this way for over 40 years at UPEI. If you have the opportunity to speak with a graduate from any other year, you will find that your stories are remarkably similar. Stories of late nights, early mornings, and learning and laughing with friends. Friends who to this day remain some of our best friends. The UPEI Alumni Association is committed to helping you maintain the contacts and friendships that you've developed during your years at UPEI. With considerable assistance from the Alumni Office, the association organizes reunions each year during the last weekend of July. Our resources are available to help you folks stay in touch. As graduates, you have access to career services at UPEI. Don't hesitate to sit down with a career counselor and let them help you plan your path. You will also continue to have access to the Robertson Library, and you now enjoy a discount at the UPEI bookstore. Alumni can likewise access the reduced insurance rates that our association has negotiated on behalf of its members. These are small perks, yet they remind us that our university is invested in our success, not just while we are here, but at every stage of our lives. Although UPEI may no longer be part of your everyday life, you are still part of this university. We as alumni are UPEI's best representatives. We encourage you to show pride in your alma mater by staying involved, mentoring current students, attending events on campus, and helping tomorrow's students achieve their goals. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the tremendous contribution that our president, Wade McLaughlin, has made to UPEI and to the value of all of our UPEI degrees. I first met President McLaughlin when I was a law student at the University of New Brunswick. He He was Dean McLaughlin then, and he put UNB on the map, UNB Law School on the map. When I heard that he had accepted the president's position at UPEI, I was very excited for this university because I had experienced firsthand what he could do. And President McLaughlin, you certainly didn't disappoint us. President McLaughlin, on behalf of the UPEI Alumni Association, I'd like to thank you for your outstanding contribution to our university, and I wish you every success in your future endeavors. To our graduates, enjoy this day with your family and friends. Stay connected through our website. Keep us updated on your achievements, and remember, we are all Panthers for life. Thank you.
Thank you, Perline. We're now going to have a very, very special part of the convocation exercises, and that is the presentation of prizes and awards. And these are the best of the best, and they're a great crop this year, but this is the prize winners for the university. Her Honor Barbara Hagerman, a visitor to the university, will present these recipients with prizes and awards. The Marshal will announce each winner.
The Faculty of Education Prize for an Outstanding Education Student, awarded to Paul McKay. The R.G. Thompson Academic Achievement Medal for the graduating student with the highest aggregate in the 4 years of the veterinary medicine program, awarded to Dr. Matthew Lemon. The Youssef Hashmi Scholarship for the student standing highest in the Business Administration program, Luke Rolich. The Margaret F. Monroe Scholarship for the student standing highest in the 4th year of the nursing program, awarded to Allison McDonald.
Thank you, Governor Hagerman. We've got one probably fairly nervous graduate who's ready to address the group. Our valedictorian, Charlotte Colson, I'd ask her to please come and address the audience.
I don't think I was this nervous since I had to write my finance exam. Mr. Chancellor, Your Honor, President McLaughlin, honorary degree recipients, faculty and staff, families, friends, and my fellow graduates of the class of 2011. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you today. When I first learned that it would be my responsibility to deliver this address, I immediately started to prepare the exact same way I did for all of my papers and projects over the last 4 years. So I forgot about it for about a month. Then one day last week, I panicked and wrote the whole thing in about 3 hours. In all seriousness, today is momentous. Even better, we get to celebrate by wearing what resemble polyester choir robes and receiving some very impressive pieces of paper with our names on them. But this day is also a celebration for all of the important people in our lives. Today is a milestone for many of our families, who are often both our emotional and financial support, who listened to our many complaints, who proofread our papers, and always believed in our success when we were sure we would fail. To all of our families, and especially our parents, a huge and heartfelt thank you. We also owe a sincere thank you to our many professors who have literally taught us almost everything we know. As many of the education graduates will soon find out, being a teacher is a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, and sometimes goes without recognition. To all the professors from all faculties represented here today, from teaching our classes, to meeting with us at any time of day, to letting us drop by your offices unannounced for help. On behalf of the graduating class, thank you. You've taught us so much. You've taught us so much, both in and out of the classroom over the course of our degrees, and so much of our success is thanks to you. Of course, I can't forget about my fellow graduates. Over the last 4 years, I've had the opportunity to take on a variety of roles within the UPEI community. Yes, as a student, but I've also worked in residence. I spent 3 very long months managing our campus bar, and I've even had the pleasure to mark some of your exams. Each of these positions has allowed me to interact with so many of you in so many different ways and on such personal levels. Not only did I have this distinct privilege to learn alongside many of you, but I learned so much from all of you as well. My peers, you've taught me about strength, as I've seen so many of you demonstrate in both personal and academic situations. You've taught me about perseverance and to strive to be the best you can be. You've taught me about teamwork, and in turn, a lot about patience. With that said, to anyone who ever had to work in a group with me, thank you for your patience. You've also taught me so much about friendship and having fun. I spent a lot of times laughing with many of you, but let's be honest, I did work at the Wave, so I probably spent a lot of time laughing at a lot of you too. Most of all, those whom I'm graduating with today have helped me learn about community and what it means to be a part of one. I actually realized what a diverse community I become a part of at UPEI when I got my first phone bill with charges from Ontario, Alberta, Arkansas, and Australia. Coincidentally, this was about the same time I realized what it was like to be a poor university student. Whether I was going to class, participating in an event, or even just walking through campus, my decision to come and be a part of the UPEI community was reinforced each and every day. I know a lot of us are familiar with the just phrase some of us use when we first come to UPEI. Oh, I'm just going to UPEI. We've all said it once or twice, but after spending 4 years at UPEI, I'd like to see that phrase come to an end. I know I'm graduating with an excellent education and a well-respected degree, as are the rest of you. We may be part of a small university, but it's a great one. Think small but mighty. Whether you're about to begin your career, continue with your education, travel the world, or even start a family, I hope you're leaving today with the knowledge that you are graduating from one of the best small universities Canada has to offer. Now, before this gets too long and you all start to feel like you're back in a lecture, I'll wind this up with a few good old cliches. We are about to graduate and enter the real world. We are the next generation of teachers, nurses, veterinarians, and business leaders, which, as the business students all know, is just a fancy way of saying we still have no idea what we're going to do. And even though many of us think that leaving UPEI today means we'll really be adults, remember that no matter how grown up you think you are, your mom always knows everything, and you really should listen to your dad when he tries to lecture you about money. UPEI class of 2011. As I've seen over the last 4 years and as demonstrated here today, You are no strangers to success. Leave here today and continue to succeed. I know that's my plan. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Charlotte. That was without flaw. You did a wonderful job. I don't. One thing I fail to do, and I'm always reticent to do, and I should do it more, is give the students an opportunity to thank the faculty. We're blessed with a tremendous and strong faculty at the University of Prince Edward Island, and we do appreciate their year-long efforts with the students, not only with academic teaching, but also with the research that goes on at this university. So thank you very much to the deans and to the faculty. At the dinner last night, I asked that nobody do a rain dance last night, so I'm hoping the weather has held up. If it has, we welcome you to use your cameras and take pictures. I notice the leaves are maybe starting. They're getting a little bit brave, coming out of a fairly cold winter. After the convocation, we invite everyone in the audience down to the Wyatt Dining Center, and we certainly invite you to take photographs there as well, but join us at the dining hall for some refreshments. Also, we have some flowers that are available. Anybody would like to, maybe the graduates would like to do a little bit of an early Mother's Day present or something for the graduates, and the proceeds are for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. So I would now like to ask Michelle Bowie to honor our nation with the singing of O Canada. Please rise.
True patriot love Thank you.